Okay, and we are live. Hello, everyone. I am Lucky. Over there is Omega, and this is What's Up on the most cursed of days.
Yeah, somebody suggested a really good joke to be Alpha and Misfortune, but I think we've cursed everybody enough with my thumbnail.
Yes. I guess this is what I get for embracing the Eternal to that is dark theme. Anytime I just see overwhelming amounts of what, I'm just like,
Ooh, your mic peaked on that hiss, but I got the vibes. I got you going for. Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of in between, on light mode, dark mode. Like, I prefer a lot of stuff to be in dark mode, but Google Documents doesn't have a dark mode. And I write a lot of homebrew, the RPGs and the stuff, so there are times when I am still used to staring at the big blocks of black text on a white page. But inverted colors are funny.
just
Like,
thinking about it.
sometimes I just think they're neat.
Just thinking about it is making me want to rub my eyes.
Well, before we get in any further, hey chat. So if you watched today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, first of all, if you didn't, how dare you? But second of all, I spent a lot of time on that episode talking about how much energy I had. I don't have any of that today.
Of course not.
I am absolutely groggoed and sinusy today. I haven't even been pranked. I'm just not as juiced. But the thing we do before we get into the stuff is I say the patrons
That you do.
who are important. Thank you, patrons, because our patrons help support us, especially on this day, the first of a month, and no other kind of day. Definitely just the first of a month. Anyway, some of our patrons are kind enough to donate at a higher level, which gets them an on-air shout-out. And those people have names such as Adam DeHarp, Blacklist OG, Call Me Zed, Carlos, Dragon, Ferris, Fightless Icebird, Jeremy Vasquez, Jester LaFay, Jonathan Sandoval, Chris Starlight, Legendary Boss Hunter, Regent Raptor, Rise of Kenji, Rogue Robin, Charvor, Sean Pryor, some guy named Bob, Siren 23, and Varian the Crow. Thank you very much for your support, everybody. If you want to support us and see us do cool stuff, check us out on Patreon.
You are low energy.
Yeah.
I was like,
I mean, I probably could have sped that up to full announcey mode, full auctioneer, but I was enunciating. I'll drink some water. I'll catch up. I had dinner with a side of some soda not too long ago, so hopefully the caffeine and stuff will kick in eventually. But for now, I'm a little, like I said, I'm a little groggo. Let me pull up my show notes. While I do that, you are playing Final Fantasy the 14.
Yeah, it's my usual go-to. I was considering what I wanted to do. I still can't play 4 because that's our Monday stream, and I somewhat regret this decision I have made. I was also considering maybe popping in Wolong or Mass Effect 2, but I decided just to keep on keeping on with what I'm doing because I have many things I need to do in Final Fantasy 14 every day, constantly. So I'm all like, yeah, let's make this less complicated than it needs to be.
Fair enough. But yes, 14 stuff continues. Ugh. If you want to see more 14, besides just Lucky Take Care at Shores, stream on Wednesdays, check that out. We've been having a little conversation with the lads off stream about maybe tighten things up a little.
Less chaos modo.
Yeah, it's it's surprisingly, for me anyway, it's surprisingly effortless to stream Final Fantasy XIV most of the time. So we definitely kind of like, depending on the week, the day, whatever, kind of like roll in and out of like always a lot of stuff happening. There was like, I think 2 or 3 big, story moments I hit last week. But also sometimes there's just like, hey, you need to go, do some random chores for Moogles. So, we can kind of like roll in and out of the relaxation, but don't want to necessarily get complacent with streaming. And, want to make sure people are involved and both the audience can be hooked, but also everybody else, just in the streams and stuff. I don't know how that'll look exactly. Probably very similar to the last. Just we'll try and, ratchet in our conversation a little. We have several people who are known to go abouts on the lengths.
To go on a yarn.
Multiplayer, but I mean, we have several people in our community, join our Discord, link below, who are planning on picking up Battle Network's Legacy Collection later this month now. We will probably at some point, I don't know if it'll really be like organized, because we got a lot of different people with a lot of different schedules. But, there will, at the very least, there'll be an opportunity for like online trading and stuff out there. I don't know if we'll like I said, if we'll, organize any like regular organized tournaments, but you'll be able to find people to play online with for sure.
I wonder how many people total in our server is going to be getting it. It could be fun to have a Mega Man tournament.
Yeah, they seem to have a lot of these online features going on, so we'll have to, collect everybody up and make sure they're all on the same device. But yeah, there's a few. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's going to be enough people for at least an 8-man bracket.
I think it'd be entertaining. I will be planning on picking up Mega Man Battle Network Collection here at some point, but my 2 big games in April are Dead Island 2 and Jedi Survivor.
Yeah. Jedi Survivor, which is aiming for a little bit later.
Yes.
Now, I am curious, has Jedi Survivor said they've gone gold yet? Have they finalized the game?
I don't know. Well, it's not always that game companies will say that the game has gone gold.
No, it's true. They don't always announce it's finalized, but that's on my mind because a couple of games have announced they've been finalized.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is, speaking of things coming out soonish, though still another month away. Tears of the Kingdom had a decent little gameplay drop.
Yeah.
Little just 10-minute video of like, hey, gameplay.
Checked out.
But they kicked that off by announcing that the game was had gone gold. It was like, all right, development is now complete. Not necessarily like literally the day they did the video. That would be very funny because that's like, only a couple months before it goes live. But just that was our next update of announcement. But yeah, and they showed some gameplay.
The gameplay is interesting, to say the least.
Yeah. They primarily focused on, I wouldn't say any, like, deep cutting or advanced gameplay, but focused on kind of showing you some of Link's new basic abilities. It feels pretty obvious from the framing of both the gameplay trailer and the story trailers previously that Link, Breath of the Wild Link doesn't have access to the Sheikah Slate anymore. And it sure seems like the Sheikah Slate's now your arm, your hand. So it looks like you've lost access to the original forms of all your Sheikah Slate runes, but now have a handful of new abilities.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, instead of showing off stasis as was. They showed a recall ability. Link's stand evolved, everybody. Now he has a different move. You rewind time on objects, which they showed off in the trailer to show you going up into the sky by rewinding a piece of debris that fell. I have some questions about that, like how scripted that is. Because it does seem like you can only rewind objects so far. So, you know, it'll be interesting about the timing of such, like, drops from Little Sky Islands to rewind. But it is a legitimate way you can get up there. And if it is like the Sheikah Slate and you have all these abilities right at the start, you know, different runes you can pick, there's definitely going to be an opportunity for, like, some easy ways for you to go, oh, well, I just saw a thing fall. Let's immediately go recall it and go back up. You know?
In my personal opinion, I actually think I would like it if the upgrades were more staggered out.
Yes.
And you would have to actually go
straight to
around
that
and
point,
explore and find and unlock them, you know, much like how we had gadgets in the previous generations.
Yeah, we can jump straight to that point. The trailer is nice, and there's some really neat stuff in there. We haven't talked about Fusion at all, which seems to be, like, the big thing Nintendo is pushing for with Tears of the Kingdom. But nothing they actually showed in the gameplay was anything more complex than... It seemed like relatively basic overall gameplay. Like, yes, they did show off going to the Sky Islands, and a couple ways you can get there, but it didn't... The whole point of that showing off made it seem like it was simple, right? Like, it's going to be a pretty commonplace thing for you to do, to be like, oh, I see an island up in the sky. Let me get up there. You know? No shrines were showed off. No real figures or anything showed off. I think somebody said that in the trailer you can see a giant dragon in the back, but I thought that was just a normal Hyrule dragon. So I don't know if there's any, like, Divine Beast equivalents, which were as close as Breath of the Wild got to full dungeons, like with, you know, multiple puzzles and shit, and with a boss.
Is it
and
it's hailing. I don't know if that's gonna be being picked up on mic or not.
Ooh, I don't hear it right now, but
okay. Well, it's not heavy, but ice balls are falling on my roof.
Nice balls are falling on my roof. But yeah, so this is a discussion we kind of had a little round robin with some of the people in the community after the video dropped. Breath of the Wild is neat, right, guys? It's a pretty solid game. I know that there's this, like, Zelda cycle thing going on, you know, that happens where every time a new Zelda game is about to come out, everybody remembers what they didn't like about the last one. Because it's been about 1 million years since they played it. But in general, I think for all of the design goals the developers had for Breath of the Wild, it all worked pretty well. It's just that some of their creative decisions were not as fun. I know, a terrible buzzword, but we're not necessarily more fun or entertaining versus whatever other thing you want to say, whether it's, you know, realistic that sticks break when you hit goblins with them, or whether it's just the developers are trying to cultivate the sense of, like, post-apocalyptic scarcity, whatever. Breakable weapons, there's nothing fun about them. I know some people who are not, like, they're not upset. They didn't mind it. I know that fun is, like, a nebulous, you know, non-starter because nobody can really agree what it means. I'm still I'll argue with them. They're probably not having fun with breakable weapons. They just don't, it just doesn't take anything away. I don't think it's not, you know, a positive, right?
Right. I think
mostly because, go ahead.
I think breakable weapons is purely from a neutral to negative stance on a lot of people.
Yeah, like, I mean, okay, there are some mechanics that you might find interesting about the breakable weapons, like how you do extra damage on that break hit. And you're like, okay, that's like a neat thing. But the primary action that breakable weapons serves in Breath of the Wild is, hey, you found a cool sword. You can use it 5 times, then it's gone forever, and you have to hope that you can find it again. So, yeah, you can't really, like, there wasn't a really good way to like craft specific weapons. You could not repair specific weapons. And so, as I've said before, it's just one of those things that kind of feels like a waste.
Oh, I'm sorry, Magnus.
Like-
Did you say you cannot craft specific weapons?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I'm just
Yes,
remember in Breath of the Wild there was the I think I mentioned this before, but the heroes' weapons were craftable. The trident, the hammer, bow, and what was the
Yes,
fourth
you
one?
could like get
The
them
salmon.
back.
Yeah.
But I think you had to, first of all, you had to break the one you got anyway.
But it was a pain in the ass to do. It was. I
yeah.
remember that. But
You
that
needed
was
a lot of materials, and I think you had to go back to their specific places. I believe you could also, I don't know if you would call it craft, but I think you could exchange some stuff for certain Sheikah type weapons at one of the labs. Like you could get ancient arrows or a variant of ancient arrows and stuff like that there.
Yeah. At the research lab, I believe. Yeah.
But for the most part, there was not like a proper like, okay, you've got 4 fire gels and a piece of Hyrule iron in your pocket. Make a flame blade. They tried to massage some things. They even, I think it was an early patch to make the Master Sword like quote unquote breakable. It didn't really break per se in the original version, whether that was like a beta or that was actually the launch version of the game. It just ran out of juice, and returned to the forest where you had to pick it up again. The final version is, first of all, if it lights up, which it only does when you're in like Hyrule Castle or during like blood moons and stuff, or some other certain fixtures. But when the sword like fully activates and lights up and you're ready to use it against evil forces, it doesn't take any damage, and it like can slowly recharge over time. I feel like the Master Sword breaking was something that I don't know whether it's like let it never be said that game developers can't feel spite. I don't know if it's like a spiteful thing, like, oh, these guys complained about the Master Sword breaking, well, let's turn it on them, or it's like leaning into the meme, but your Master Sword's getting broken. That's the logo. So like that at least we'll see where that goes, but that seems to be a story thing. And also it kind of makes sense because there's a lot of tropes and cycles in Zelda games. This is a direct sequel, so their opportunities are either, okay, so we can give you the Master Sword from the start, and we have to figure out some way to like balance everything around that. So either all your enemies have to be tougher right away, or your Master Sword has to be weaker, or something.
Clearly,
Or they figure a way to get rid of it and make you build it again.
No, clearly we should have gone the Bedivere route, and you get your arm cut off, and you have it replaced with the Master Sword.
I mean, we don't know nothing yet, so that could be it. I don't think Link was carrying like any parts of the Master Sword in that gameplay footage.
Not that I
Let's
saw.
double check. Didn't seem like you. It seemed like when they were doing weapon menus and showing off, he had empty pockets. So.
Well, he was also been wearing the exact same outfit the entire time. I don't know what's like. We talk a lot about the weapons, but something I did actually find fun of Breath of the Wild was the outfits.
Yes, that I think because they didn't break, that was actually like. Or did they break? But it took a while. I don't know.
No, they didn't break. They didn't break.
Yeah, I know.
But you did have like special things, like if you wore metal armor in like a lightning zone, you get fucking zapped.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
everything was part of their environmental system.
Yeah.
There was still the sound bar and the temperature meter, so I assume that like clothing and stuff has to still be in there, just because that's a good way to gateway exploration, and also has some, just some different stuff in there. So that we can hope comes back, but they did not focus on it. And that may just be because they didn't do anything to that mechanic,
They might not have.
So
No,
if
like
it
honestly,
stayed exactly
when
the
I'm
same,
thinking about
then
it,
there's
it
nothing
is
really
just a
to show
solid
off.
mechanic. You get armors, they have bonuses, they have set bonuses, and you can upgrade them. That's all you really need.
Mm-hmm. And the permanency and the upgrading at the Great Fairies, I think, is why that was a really good system. And you're right that we don't really talk about that a lot, but that's because, as you said, it is just a good mechanic. There's nothing to really, I think, debate about the way clothing works in Breath of the Wild. It's just a solid system,
Mhm.
Oh, if you get the Gerudo outfit, you can sneak into the Gerudo town, when it's cold, wearing other sets would give you, other stuff.
Oof.
You know, wearing your Zora set let you go up waterfalls and shit.
Let you swim better because boy, how
Yeah.
swimming was terrifying in that game.
Yeah, well, that's a Zelda standard. You know, and it did not. I don't think it fully replaced some of the things you can get, but the Zelda games are known for, you know, tunic and armor upgrades
Oh yeah.
and, you know, other things. So it worked out, you know, replacing Zora fins or necklace or armor with, you know, your full Zora set, stuff like that. So hopefully that all just stays the same and nothing really has to change because that was just good. Weapons, you know, has a little bit more debate about it. But they did show off, like you said, the fusion mechanic, where one of the new things Link can do is if you have an item and you have another item, you can stick those items together.
So oh, you were saying?
Go ahead.
So on an initial bit, I kind of like the fusion system, but the second bit, I kind of don't. Because, well, I should say the weapon fusion system. There's another system they have that going on that I think is actually hella neat. But from what it seems like their fusion system is, they just take an item, slather it in super glue, and then just stick it on whatever else you're fusing it to, which I'm not gonna say is lazy because, you know, it makes sense if you have a fucking a stick and a rock and you fuse them together, you're not gonna get suddenly a spear, you're gonna get a fucking stick and a rock put together. But at the same time, I feel like it's a missed opportunity for you to be able to like immediately like craft some like already known weapons. Like I'm pretty sure there's spears in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, and I will say obviously this was like their first crack at showing off this mechanic, which is very interesting again because the game like just finished development and is coming out in a couple months. They really, I said this before, but Nintendo really played a lot of this game close to their vest.
Yeah.
So we don't actually know whether or not there are like static item fusions. Like, can you get a sharp stone and a stick and make a spear? Or is it like they showed off and you only can take stick and pitchfork and make long pitchfork? Not that that's not like funny, but
it's not funny. But I'm also
well, I mean, yeah, I think just saying the funny part is that's kind of the crux right there, right? Like, it's cute, it's interesting, but it's also a little silly, and I don't know if it's because this game seems like it is actually gonna be kind of like dark and serious in its plot. Like there's some, you know, Link looks like he's gonna get, you know, beat up a little bit. A lot of people are posting videos with questions like, "Is Zelda dead?" You know, shit like that. Maybe they wanted more lighthearted mechanics to kind of take out of it, but it's a little silly. I take rock and stick, I get stick rock. You know, you can put monster eyes on arrows to turn them into homing arrows, and everybody wanted to know what happens if you combine arrow and meat, because they were in the menu. I want to see meat arrows. It does kind of seem like this seems pretty freeform, because there look to be combinations which don't really do anything. They stuck a Korok leaf on an arrow, and that just put a Korok leaf in your face. It probably has like some minor use, but didn't seem like it did anything immediate, right?
It might have done. Like I don't remember. Did they actually fire the Korok arrow?
No, they just showed it to you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that has like some sort of wind gust effect. Yeah. Like you shoot it and it's just gonna do a big gust of wind, like, and knock people over or something. Because they do little weird things. Like I remember they attached a shroom to a shield, and it looks jank as fuck. By the way, yeah. Listen, I'm a man about aesthetics. When you just super glue something to the front of your shield, I'm not about it. I am not.
Yeah, in general, the fusion mechanic seems to be like, some are very obviously like some kind of like I said, transition. Like, you don't necessarily, I don't think you necessarily like super glue the stick to the rock, because it looked like part of the stick actually went inside the big boulder, you know?
Yeah.
To get stick rock. But there are other cases, like you said, where it's just like, no, the shroom plus shield just looks like Link tied a shroom to the front of his shield. And it's like, I mean, yes, technically that's probably what he did, but yeah, it's a little silly. And I mean, again, Breath of the Wild, very popular game, won some awards. I, played through all of the base game, on my own. I like hit up all the shrines and shit too. So, like, I can't say that I didn't thoroughly play the game, but I definitely feel like you said that aesthetics is kind of where the game is almost at its weakest, because it's like, as we said, there's a lot of cool stuff you can find, but you can't always be rocking your best look, you know?
Mhm.
Like, sometimes you got to put on a different outfit because the environment changes. Sometimes you got to, like, hold back on your weapons because they can break and they're, you know, really rare and cool. The fact that, like, I know they are durable, but all the Royal Guard and the Hyrule Knight shit in the castle, the fact that it can break is like, okay, why? It's been sitting pretty for, you know, 100 years, perfectly fine. It's in a cool, dry place, and it's a huge pain in the ass to get all these items. You have to go into Hyrule Castle, the final dungeon. Yes, I know you can sequence break, but it's meant to be tough and scary. And what your reward is cool items, but they break too, and I don't know if they respawn. So why the fuck would you bother, you know? So it's interesting. I mean, I think we're both, you know, let it not be said that we're not going to play Tears of the Kingdom, right?
I mean, I already have it fucking pre-ordered, so...
Yeah, it's just, I am not, I think it's cool, but this gameplay footage to me still did not make me go, oh, this will be the Zelda of all time. And I mean, I don't know. I don't think we should, you know, talking about, like, I wasn't really expecting them to go, like, above and beyond and for this to be a, you know, literal whole new game. This got started as DLC for Breath of the Wild, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's all still in the same engine as far as we know. So, like, people should not expect it to be a completely new ground up game. That said, it does look like they've, you know, made an opportunity to remodel parts of the world map to keep things fresh. They've added new verticality. Added some interesting other mechanics. You know, we haven't talked at all about Ascend. That's another thing you can do. If you can stand under a ceiling, you have the magical power to swim through that ceiling to the top of it. So if you can enter any area with an overhang, you can instantly climb to the top without using stamina. So that means that, like, if you find a cave or an overhang under a mountain, you don't climb that mountain normally, which is, you know, an interesting way to, like, free up certain kinds of traversal. I'd make that more accessible earlier in the game, depending on when you access these things. Were you implying earlier you liked, God, I can't remember what it ends in hand, and then it's got some kind of, like, superlative adjective to it.
Ultra Hand.
Ultra Hand. I keep wanting to say, like, Giga Hand or Super Hand. It's Ultra Hand. It sounds like Link's new ultimate move. But Ultra Hand lets you combine larger environmental objects into, like, structures and vehicles.
Yeah, and I think that's neat.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I think while they don't explain it in the gameplay trailer, I think they do showcase how such a thing would still be limited. It looks like there are, you know, wheels and balloons and lifts. The thing they primarily showed off in the gameplay is you have giant, like, fans, turboprops. But when you are using them, a little battery icon shows up and starts draining, just like Link's stamina. So it does appear that, at least in one way or another, these devices will be limited in the amount of time you can run them. If I had to guess, again, they don't make this explicit, but if I had to guess how this seems to work, those new enemy types they showed off, the constructs, and there's a lot of Zonai theming, by the way. If you looked at those Zonai mazes and constructions in Breath of the Wild and were like, who the fuck this? We're probably going to find out more. But I noticed that when those guys died, they dropped an item called Zonai Charge, which is like glowing green electric goo. So my personal assumption is that it seems like you'll probably be able to, like, recharge your devices by putting Zonai Charge in them. If I had to guess. Or if not that directly, you'll be able to take this Zonai Charge stuff you can farm from enemies and turn it into more battery. But yeah, all those vehicles you saw in that last like story type trailer at the end there are all things you can construct by combining different parts. They showed stick some logs together. You can make like a raft because they still float. You can obviously from the other trailer you can attach like wheels to make a car or cart kind of a thing. You build it right, you can build flying machines. That seems like a neat way to expand traversal.
Oh yeah.
And as you said, swimming was very, very complex in the first game. So now having like easier access to boats can be useful. Obviously, if we're going to the sky, aerial traversal is neat. Depending on anything they may be thinking about for like, whatchamacallit, like, on land, or if they want to. They want to like because we saw in the trailers earlier being on horseback.
Yeah.
But so I assume this isn't meant to replace it, but it could be an alternative if you don't want to like fuck around with catching a horse, or you're away from a horse stable and you had to go on foot for a little bit and you're like, shit, I need to get back somewhere. Build a cart.
Clearly, I need to be able to put wheels on my horse.
Well, that's just the mini beast from the DLC, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so some of these new mechanics look really interesting and dynamic. And other ones are just kind of like, I don't know. I mean, hey, if the game wants the dominant strategy for me to just be like, that, like, whether they don't feel like it or they just can't fundamentally change the mechanics in such a way so that they can make it so you can easily, keep using actual cool weapons that are weapons, I'll accept the dominant strategy is putting a stick on a rock, and I'll just, infinitely put sticks on rocks. It still, to me, smacks a little like the developers misinterpreted our complaints. Like, I don't think anybody's complaining about breakable weapons in the sense that, like, they're afraid they're going to run out of weapons, but rather that weapons we think are neat and useful have a limited time offering. So it's like I said, I don't think it's enough to like break me on the game, because it's like I'm sure the fundamental systems will still be fun, but I'm definitely not like crazy about the fusion mechanic. It's funny. A lot of cute memes have come out of it, but we'll see. Again, they didn't. I don't think they really showed off how diverse it could be, right? Like, they mostly just showed you sticking, scrap and herbs and monster parts together. So I don't know what it does. Again, if you take, like, what if I have just, like, a beat-up traveler's sword and I stick a rock to it? Do I have a sword and a rock? Okay, what does that get me? What happens if I fuse two of the same item together? This could be a really easy way to handle, like, repairing things, because that's a thing we would like, is if you can take a damaged sword and a fine sword of the same type and just be like, I stick these swords together.
I don't know that that's work, because then you've just wasted one sword to fix a sword. At that point,
I mean, if depending on if they're both damaged, right, you could run down two normal swords and then squidge them together. It extends the life of the sword. Much like how you brought up the example of, like, Fallout 3 in New Vegas, where, like, you take two shitty shotguns and you just find all the best parts and kludge them together. But also, there is another really easy way to solve that. Towns and stuff exist. Give me a blacksmith. Be like, here, man, hammer sword, make sword good. Like, I do believe there was, like, I think it was mostly things you sold, but they were like iron ores and stuff. I remember farming for, like, little ore deposits. There's the right base is there. It's just that, they had their creative vision, and we're going to see how much they stick to it, I guess. Some of the creative vision is neat. Other bits is just like, again, depending on how good it is, like, the trailer really wanted to upsell stick and rock. So, like, I don't know. If stick and rock is the end game, fine. I'll get along with it, but I feel like that's kind of disappointing. But we'll see. again, Nintendo's playing this really close to the vest, so I don't know whether or not just continuing to fuse sticks with rocks is the end game. It is at the very least a replenishable resource. But yeah,
Oh, this fucker ain't keeping fucking Omega straight, you son of a bitch! And people have died because of it.
rip. I know I'm a little behind on the preview. Making sure to scooch up some current.
Yeah, when you fight a Omega, you have to actually keep them pretty fucking straight so people can... Oh. Oh, I forgot we have that ability. I haven't done this in so long.
Love the animation on those freaky hands. And like I said, this showed entirely overworld shit, so we have no inclination about, you know, again, dungeons, shrines, whatever. I assume there has to be something. There's going to be some kind of progression because video games are like that. But I don't know what that progression is. You mentioned way earlier now. It's been about, 30 minutes, but hoping that, like, Link slowly comes to unlock some abilities. I think I would like that. I'm so curious, like, hey, what's going to happen with our bombs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I appreciate that Breath of the Wild kind of doesn't make you, like, actually fuck around with, like, getting a bomb bag and, like, getting bigger bomb bags and stuff. Like, let's not say that some forms of the progression in old Zelda games was not a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
Having to find extra wallets. But that means that it was neat that you could just be like, round bomb. But if it's still in your hand, maybe you can still, make bomb. Or they'll find something else to do it. But yeah, I would like, traditional longer form dungeons, and I would like actual gadgets. Besides just paraglide. And we'll see, I guess.
We will see.
Comes out May what? Check. May 12th. Yeah.
So we got like about a month and a half then.
Yeah.
Why am I...
Yeah, fairly solid. We'll see how it shakes out. I think Nintendo, as I said, with their kind of closed-lippedness about Tears of the Kingdom, I feel like they've done a decent job of kind of keeping the hype alive because there's still a lot of this speculation, this open-endedness to what they're showing us. So people are still like, "Ooh, what's it going to be like?" I'm gonna be curious about how far ahead they're gonna fire up their review copies, for instance. What are reviews and early access is gonna be like? Are people gonna get demos and stuff out there? It's part of the press process, so we'll see. We talked about this on Monday with RE4, but the RE4 remake had their review copies out very early, so reviews could come in, well ahead of time. And be very positive. Oh. This year is the year of the high-power, high-profile remakes. But if we don't have anything else to say about Tears of the Kingdom...
I don't think I do. No. No, I don't.
I hope for some more fun cooking things. There's a lot of fun cooking Link you can do. We could talk about a little bit, because there's not that much to do, but we should mention at least, talked about earlier, another game went gold. Mm-hmm. And that is Final Fantasy 16.
Yes.
It is confirmed to be in its final form, ready to go. I assume that, like, the delay here is going to be on probably, any additional, quality control, day one patch fixing, and also probably just distribution.
Yeah.
Because they're probably gonna make sure they have a lovely big worldwide drop. So we'll see, but that one's been, I wouldn't say as closed-lipped as Nintendo has been. There's a lot of gameplay footage coming out across a lot of channels.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I think it was technically early yesterday, but just a little while ago, there was actually some gameplay footage shown that finally showed off some Bahamut moveset.
Yeah.
I think somebody posted that in Pro General. Or was it Games? Somewhere in there.
It was me.
Yeah, I thought it was you, but I'm trying to remember where it was, and I don't know.
It was Games.
I retweeted it, so yeah. And I'm sure I caught your retweet as well. But, that's like neat to actually show that. We've been talking before in past weeks about how they hadn't, shown any Bahamut stuff yet. I was like, there's going to be a Bahamut, but it's, they actually showed the moveset. One of the moves is, referencing some of the summoner abilities in 14. You do the, the spin, spin type flare, blast everybody with lasers. So that's, very solid, very cool. Lots of other, gameplay bits coming out. Just in general, this, it's still looking pretty good. It's going to be a very solid game, seems like.
Yeah, no,
Action looks great. Yeah. I don't think there's any other real, news to get in there about it. It exists. People
It exists.
are excited. And it's hit that final stage, so.
Yeah. So no delays, no holdbacks. I'm about to get slapped again.
But in addition also to some 16 stuff, there's also been some 14 stuff as well.
Yep.
Announced it on the horizon.
Well, actually, I want to call this out real quick. Flee. Wait, keep calm. Look
Keep
at
calm,
Shadow Nebula! Oh, they're so small, I can't even zoom in.
Adventure plates.
But within the last week, Final Fantasy 14, they opened up the ticket sales for their London Fan Fest. They're already sold out, by the way. Megan, would you like to know how quickly they sold out?
I think I remember seeing this, but yeah, go ahead and drop it.
16 minutes.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing something like that.
Yeah, no, in 16 minutes, because, well, I didn't actually read anything about this, because I was actually looking at the, because I follow the Final Fantasy 14 Twitter. And at some point early in the morning, they're just all like, we are opening up ticket sales for the London Fan Fest now. We will post another tweet when they are sold out. And then, just a little bit later, 16 minutes later, we are sold out. I'm just all like, Jesus. So that blew my mind a little. Well, it didn't really blow my mind. Final Fantasy 14 is popular. I believe for the Las Vegas ones, we actually had to do a lottery for tickets, I believe, which caused some consternation among folks.
Listen, there's a lot of people who want to go to the thing.
They do.
And I also believe that, by randomizing it slightly, they are trying to avoid the scalper problem. I don't know how well it worked. I haven't heard anybody complaining about scalping, FanFest tickets, so. I'm sure somebody has accomplished it somehow, but. But yeah, it was a big sale. It's a solid year. This is going to be the full 10 years of Realm Reborn, I think.
I believe so.
Also, as you've said before, and I have started to believe as I kind of like watch the way they're building up the post Endwalker content and like the timing of all the patches, I'm fairly certain that at the Las Vegas Fan Fest, because that takes place in early July, that will be the announcement of probably the name and maybe a trailer of whatever the next X Pack is. I'm not expecting it to come out anytime soon, but I feel like with 16, having gone gold and being safely out of the way in June, obviously there'll be some DLC potential or something, depending on how well it does and what, ideas the guys have for it. Forspoken may not have reviewed that well, but it's been on like the top selling games for like not high, but top 10 best-selling games for like 2 months and is getting a DLC pack. So
oh, our boy Marth found out Barry sold for 500 to 1,125. Thanks, scalpers.
Okay, so they exist, but I'm not seeing like I haven't seen people being like, "Oh, there's a lot of scalping going on." But yeah, if there's not a lot of stuff, there's demand. But yeah, with 16 packed in, and they will probably have some future development because again, if a game as seemingly mid as Forspoken is like still making top sales and is getting a DLC, even if Square Enix is gonna roll up that studio back into their mainline, they're not gonna make them a spinoff anymore. 16 will probably have some push there in some form. But the placement of the Las Vegas Fan Fest for 14 seems like that's very well placed in the marketing cycle to be like, hey, here's what you should be concerned about for 14 for the future. And I don't know, at that current rate, that'll probably be around, patch 6.5-ish? At this rate?
Probably.
Because 6.4 is going to be later this month?
Yes.
I think, yeah. Like I said, we had another live letter from the producer. Rattle off some stuff. It's interesting. If you're interested, some more Blue Mage content coming at you. Increased level cap, more spells, more stuff to do.
Yep. That's exciting. Blue Mage is fun, I guess is the word I want to use.
Adventures of the Island Sanctuary coming up.
Yep.
They've also, speaking of Stormblood, they've added duty support to Stormblood. So
yes, I think there's
there.
I'm having some connection issues right now.
Yes, I am noticing it buffer on the loop. I can pause the audio and we can take a fiber and see if it wraps around. Yeah, it's talking about having problems with buffering.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sending no fucking data right now.
All right, I'll pause the audio for a sec. We'll wait for it to even out. I'll step away and be right back. Okay, I have come back.
All right, looks like it's saying we're green now. Not sure though.
Yeah, seems like it's current for me. Some of you watching out there, if you hear this, may need to refresh your stream. Yeah, for me, it's still saying poor, but I'm actually like seeing video progress and stuff.
Yeah, we have normalized a bit from where we were before. I don't think we're perfect right yet though.
No, it does kind of look like the preview's jumping around a little.
When I
I
get
don't know
out
if that's how it's actually looking for you guys.
See how some things are doing.
Well, we are getting close to that the big whatchamacallit, hardware upgrade.
Yeah,
We gotta juice that hardware.
I believe that happens next week.
Oh, I was wrong. Patch 6.4 Dark Throne is late May. I think. Are we at 6.35 yet?
No, 6. No, we're at 6.35. We're going to
okay.
6.38 here next week.
Yeah. So 6.4 is scheduled for late May, and then the Blue Mage stuff will happen at 6.45. But it looks like there's going to be new trials, new raid tier, new dungeon in 6.4, so a pretty decent content jump. Obviously, I will not be at that stage for a while, but we'll try.
And that person's gonna fuck us up. Yep.
Oh, well, YouTube is back to saying big green.
All right, yeah, I think we're good.
Patrons, view the audio version of this episode, which has none of that freaking out. But yeah, so 14 updates chugging along. Neat to see. Are you excited for more Island Sanctuary stuff, Lucky?
Oh yeah, no, I've been working hard on my Alien Sanctuary here for a while now. Like I finally got like rank 11 in it right now. I bought them fine bikes. I've been going out checking my animals. The thing that I find interesting about the Island Sanctuary is they said they're gonna let you put outdoor furnishings in there right now. Outdoor furnishings, which usually are stuck to housing things, in which people don't necessarily have a chance to use unless they have a house. Even if you don't have a house, it is not that difficult to get an apartment, which at least gives you a single room to decorate.
Yeah.
So you can still use your indoor furnishings, but there is no outdoor furnishing equivalent. So the Island Sanctuary update that's going to allow outdoor furnishings on your island, probably in your little village, is probably a good way to let people do that. But of course, as soon as people heard that, people start screaming for instant housing again. Which I don't disagree with, but at the same time, it's like... I don't know if people think just yelling on the Final Fantasy XIV Twitter is going to get them a response.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
And I mean, I see the kind of the pluses and the minuses from both. Like, obviously there are areas where you can access certain things in like a private instance. You know, there are in rooms which let you access Glamour Dresser, Orchestrion, and stuff like that. You know, some of that technology you can put in your housing, but some of it you can't, as far as I understand.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there's still limitations in housing. It is not meant to be your one-stop shop for private space, as it were, you know. But it is, as you say, the only way to really display, you know, indoor furnishings if you own them, which you can pick up. Though obviously, I don't own any furniture on my own just through playing the game to this point. I think I've picked up some like items from like, you know, bosses and stuff that can be crafted into furniture, but no furniture items have directly been in my inventory. Pretty sure.
Well, a lot of them, you have to either make or buy. Like, if you even just go to the house, you go to the Hokunin here. The Hokunin just straight up just sells furniture.
My
What?
room is still naked, so I do need to put some stuff in there. Though, I do own one item of furniture, I should say, in case anybody like does any legwork next week or something, in case they don't put it up. I did spend 1,000 of my PvP crystals to buy the red PvP banner, so I will hang it up in my room so I can just be like. Also, I really don't have anything else to spend them on. I mean, like, yes, there are different, weapon looks for glamour and stuff, but I don't know if necessarily that's the route I would go, is the look of the current PvP season stuff. Now, the wolf marks, I still probably need some of those occasionally, because there's some emotes and minions I haven't bought yet.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a floating lantern. But yeah, I definitely understand the argument for, like, okay, that's kind of neat because the island is your private space, and it's a private space that anybody who gets beyond Endwalker, but anybody can access. And so letting you do some customization with the sort of things you can do there, it's fairly... The word that jumps to mind first is important. I don't know if it's actually important, but it's significant to make sure that, like, when you reach that point, you can have your own space. It's cool. And you can do a little bit of, like, customizing of placement on your island of some of the pre-existing things, right? Like, you can pick where to, like, grow your crops and stuff. Like, he's clearly had to do something because he stopped moving.
Sorry, I'm thinking. Also waiting for Frontlines to proc so I can get my... Let's see, how far am I from it? Get my orb. Yeah, I need 2,500
Ballin',
points.
but at what cost? Yeah, we did a lot of ballin' last night. I don't think we have any new thoughts to add about Crystalline Conflict, or God forbid Frontlines, but Crystalline Conflict to add that hasn't already been discussed on either last week's stream or last week's What's Up. But as we have discussed, PvP is neat, and I appreciate they go to the effort to come up with a customized moveset for it, but, I wouldn't mind seeing some tweaks. I understand why you might need, stuns and pulls and slows in it, in game modes that are based around moving and or touching points. Okay, battlefield control is important. Could we make it so maybe you can't stack quite so many of those at the same time, please? And also, I know you've been, at least in Crystalline Conflict, you've been talking about how as summoner you feel pretty fragile.
Oh yeah, I'm fragile and I don't have the killing power of the other classes. My summoner's whole thing is to actually, no, I'm gonna go
Pick off weakened enemies.
Yeah, pick off
mostly.
weakened enemies. And when enemies can, spam a button and get back up to full pretty quickly, it's not that easy.
Yeah, I wouldn't want them to necessarily make that harder. But as somebody who I have, because I'm on PS5 and I usually have a decent internet, not always, but usually I've got a pretty decent internet connection. I demonstrated I can smash the button on recuperate very rapidly, and get most of my health back from a crisis situation. Now, admittedly, I burn up all my MP, so the next time I almost die, that's something. But when you combine that with the fact that, as you said, Summoner has a pretty low HP pool, it can mean that you can, dump all your shit, your opponent doesn't die, so they recuperate, and then you die because you don't have as much staying power as them raw anyway. I do think that Summoner has some very useful, like, area control effects. If you get your wind down there good, and obviously, the Bahamut Limit Break, those are very powerful.
Oh, yeah.
And especially when combined with other people, but that means you got to rely on other people, which is harder. Because obviously we've discussed this at length. You can't really party up in Crystalline Conflict. So the only way I think you can do that is is a custom match, but then you don't get any rewards for it. Also, you need 10 people to do it. So, like, you know, you can't really control what other people are picking or playing as, and obviously in Frontline, that's much bigger, you know, and you can switch classes right at the start and stuff like that, and you can take a party with you. But because that's like 72 total players, as far as I can tell, Frontline is just fucking chaos, so I don't know how you coordinate shit. Like, I guess you would have to, like, go in being like, you know, go into the crow's nest and be like, okay, guys, we're going to queue up for Frontlines. I'm Summoner. Somebody pick, you know, a class that's really good at making enemies go from, like, full HP to low HP and set me up. Or one of you guys go as Dark Knight so, you know, you can pull them into my area to do the thing. Oh, nice big bomblet. Doing the thing.
Yeah, and nope, I got fuckbox because I can't run away. Even full sprint.
Yeah, that's that certainly hits some classes. I haven't tried Summoner, but Machinist similarly has no real escape move. So when you're out of ammo, there's not a lot you can do. Because I think you described Summoner as being similar. Machinist in PvP has a lot of, like, secondary resource management. Like, you know, it's not just global cooldown effects, but also you can only fire 2 of one of your moves at once before that has to, like, recharge that way. Scattergun is on its own separate recharge. Your one move you can always do every rotation has a cast time, so you can, it's short, but you can, you know, interrupt yourself if you move too early. So it's you know, when you get caught in the conflux and when the entire team, you know, rounds the corner and you're like, well, this is the point. We need to fight this or we lose. It's just like, well, guess I'll die. And shockingly, Machinist has a bigger HP pool than you do as Summoner, which I'm a little flabbergasted by. I don't know. It's one of those things that I hope they and I'm confident they can put in the effort, but I hope they put in the effort to tune some of this stuff. Like, Crystalline Conflict's real easy, you know? It's fast. And as we've discussed, it's shocking how good the countdown method works. Like, we can't party up, but if everybody slaps join in sync, we usually end up all in the same, you know, cluster. Sometimes we're on different teams, but usually in the same game.
Usually, like, if we got 5 of us, 3 of us will be on one team and 2 will be on the other team.
Yeah. You know, a decent attempt. What would happen if we got 10 of us in there?
I'm pretty sure, like, most, like,
somebody would probably get dumped, but
yeah,
it'd be funny.
It would be.
But yeah, so, like, it's cute how that works, and it's very fast, so I don't mind it. But I still don't feel like you were talking last night about how there's a lot of really cool titles for PvP.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, those do sound cool, but damn, that sounds like a lot of work. That's a lot of PvP to be doing.
Oh, what are these guys doing? Are they just gonna let us have this?
Oh, is there collusion happening?
I don't know, but usually...
Listen, Frontlines is weird.
We usually fight to think, yeah, no, we got, like, most of those fucking points. Jesus. Yeah, no, people are just like, sheesh, free as fuck. That usually doesn't happen.
Yeah, no. Like I said, Frontlines is weird. The fact that it's a 3-way, you know, it's not one static King of the Hill, but I compared it to King of the Hill, and I think it's similar to quite a lot of King of the Hill game modes because, you know, you have a spot, you got to get in the spot, you get points while you're in the spot, and then the spot goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Moves to a different spot. Not always do King of the Hill type game modes have you fighting over the same hill all the time. Because what happens if one team gets entrenched permanently? But because it's 3-way, I have definitely seen some weird stuff. Like, you know, sometimes one team will throw just to fuck over the second team because they're mad at them. And you know, I'll say this: they at least they knew how to get me into PvP because they added the ball.
Orb. Ponder it.
That's very funny. I will retweet that. Should I just follow? Yeah, I probably should just follow Classical Studies memes. I see a lot of their stuff on For You and retweet it because it's funny.
Oh, I got tickled.
It happens. I will say, from our brief case study, I know you complained about dying a lot, and I do think you got some games, but I do usually see summoners, sometimes which was you, in the upper echelons of the damage dealt.
Oh yeah, no, like we have a lot of AoE abilities, so we can slap hard in the right areas.
Yeah.
But summoners are better for front lines than they are crystalline conflicts. Because usually there's a lot more melee going there's a bigger melee going on, and so a summoner is not quite as noticed as long as they're hanging back because people are trying just to hit whoever's closest to them.
Oh, yeah. It's very chaotic, like I said. Makes sense. I would probably have a decent luck then, for example, with Machinist, because very similar methods, you could just hold back and plink.
Yeah, no,
then,
we won this
drop
one
your limit break
somehow.
and delete
Good
some
job,
guys.
us.
Yeah, good job. I've never won a frontline. Keep in mind, I've only played frontlines twice, but I'm but one man in a 72-man game.
Someone literally did no damage to others. What the fuck? Wait, what's damage?
That guy really just wants his daily completion.
What the fuck is damage? Well, actually, what is damage? Damage to PCs, damage to other. What does that mean? Oh, this must mean damage on the fucking points. That's what that must mean. Okay.
Interesting.
Oh god, I'm not nowhere near the top and shit, but top kills is 7. Huh? Oh. Who died the most? I'm curious. How many? Who got fuckboxed? Oh man, this fucking white mage got the 7 deaths. Jesus.
Bullying.
There
Clearly.
was bullying involved.
I mean, white mage is really good at PvP, so I understand. I have seen many a 1 appear on top of a white mage.
I'm probably gonna run some CC here, but not immediately.
Well, you're bouncing a lot of stuff. You've been doing Beast Tribe. You're trying to get your PvP on.
Yeah, there's like I said.
Have you gone to your island on stream?
I have already been there today, but
Okay, so you already took care of your island.
yeah, I
stuff.
already took care of my island. Let me see here. So, yeah, 2 CC matches, win or lose, and I should have enough to get orb.
Nice.
But let me see here. I'm trying to knock out dailies because what I do want to do is I want to get my warrior to 80 today. And he has 78. With the power of Chloe's and assorted dailies, I should be able to do it. Because I've only done, because leveling in main scenarios will give me 1. Alliance and a dungeon should at least give me a half. And then Chloe's will give me the other half I need. And interestingly enough, Dungeons is on recommended tank. Or adventure in need. Tank. No, I'm not going to do my pixies because my pixies are at Bloodsworn because I use them a lot to level. Like, there's a reason why I haven't mentioned pixies at all, Axe, when I'm yelling about Beast Tribe. When I'm yelling about my Beast Tribes. It's because they are fucking done. Let's see. Here.
Locked in. Scratch some more.
Yeah, Bloodsworn. All right, let's see what's going on here. Oh. Anytime I see someone say fucking howdy, I immediately think of Loth. Who I believe is at They're a physical game.
I believe he is out today, yes.
I have no idea
There
what I'm
it is,
doing.
okay. The feeling of not knowing what you're doing definitely influences me to some stuff. Like, I don't do a lot of daily leveling in 14. Even though I probably could. DPS is usually pretty simple. And I might do that for some stuff. But, like, I would need to put in some more practice. That reminds me, I haven't practiced. I unlocked Astro. I haven't done anything to practice that at all. I should probably take that down to the beginner's hall and, like, run through the healer tutorials.
E.
I can't do that yet because the tank class I picked was Gladiator Paladin for the moment of just unlocking. So I need to do some leveling work there before I can even tank. It's on the one hand, you know, having gone through that complete new player experience starting at Lancer, I'm kind of glad that they keep you very basic, bitch. But it's definitely a little awkward when you want to level other stuff and it's like, wow, okay, this start at class level 1 is so baby I can't even, you know, learn my new shit yet. And you can't even do, like, the PvP excuse I've done for some other stuff, because you have to be level 30 in that class to do it at PvP. But looking at my notes, scratching some other stuff off, it was pretty minor, but Cyberpunk did drop a little bit of a hint about Phantom Liberty stuff.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they're really, I feel like they've really been burned by the whole meme thing. They say that they have more information to share in June. Not it's coming in June, but they'll have more information in June. Which is still quite a ways out, so it does sound like they're making sure to take their time and slow build this. Obviously, updates are continuing. They're mostly updates for people with fancy schmancy PCs. They are, I don't know, you know, like how much NVIDIA or whoever is getting in their business, but like their you know, last couple of updates have really pushed some very advanced, you know, shading and rendering special effects. Yeah, you know, compatibility with the latest, you know, crazy NVIDIA stuff. DLSS 3 and shit. But yeah, they tweeted out this past week, just a couple of days ago. I just retweeted it now because I realized I hadn't retweeted that tweet before. That at the moment they say in June they'll have more information about Phantom Liberty. I'm assuming that'll be a hard release date then. I hope. I don't know if that release date will be in June, but I'm hopeful to get the information. Though, depending on how big it is, and it does sound like it's going to be pretty sizable, I would maybe prefer not June itself, because obviously that's going to be, you know, the big 16th. And at the moment, July is pretty empty. That's when Exoprimal's release date is, but don't know if I'm going to be picking that up. What's that? Oh, let me look up when that beta's coming. We need to rally up some boys for some Exoprimal testing. No, shit, we missed it.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, the open beta test was the 17th to the 20th of this month. Wow, I feel like that went by fast.
Oh, God, time
Or
just
is that...
goes by sometimes, I swear.
Yeah, the test period was the 16th to the 19th. Shit, I feel like they should have raised more of a hullabaloo about it. They announced it on the little Capcom thing and were like, hey, coming soon, and then they just... I don't feel like I saw anything anywhere about it. Damn.
Does anyone know of anyone who tried it out? Does anyone have any thoughts on it? Because I fucking don't.
Google the open beta. Let's see.
Did this dude literally fucking go?
Oh yeah, I think I know why I never heard anything about it. The beta was like the weekend the embargo on RE4 remake reviews went away. So let's see. I'm reading. Forbes has got a review. Sounds like the beta tutorial was very hand-holdy.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of had to do stuff in a specific order, but once it actually opens up, there was actually a surprisingly fun amount of stuff to do. It still needed some like in-depth because you couldn't do all the shit yet in the beta. Got some nice suits. Interesting. One of these game modes is PvE transitioning into PvP. So like you race against the other team to like kill more dinos and clear more waypoints, and then it turns into a little bit of a matchup later. But it seems like it was enjoyable in the beta.
Yeah, as long as people are having fun, I suppose. That's all one could ask.
I'm seeing, there's an article somewhere titled "Exoprimal's good, but will it find an audience?" Some people had some fun. Sounds like the beta was maybe a little like flat's not maybe the right word, but like show that there was some more depth there that wasn't there. Whether that's in the final product or they have to add it in later will kind of be dependent, but we'll see. But Capcom's not hurting or anything. But okay. Well, good to know and double check on that because, as I said, completely fucking forgot about it.
Yep.
All right. Speaking of Capcom, I think we'll probably skip any further RE4 discussion.
Listen, I don't have a lot to add.
We'll build up to Monday. I'm trying to remember. You got... Did you technically finish Chapter 2? Not yet, I don't think.
Where is he in the Chapter 2?
I don't know if I should say, or if I remember rightly. Chapter 1 end is when they do the title drop.
Like, I'm about to reach the lake.
Yes. I think once you're actually on the lake, that's the transition from 2 to 3. Chapters in RE4, like, is just one observation, are kind of like scattershot. Some of them feel like they go by very quick. Like, I play the game for like an hour and I'm like, oh shit, chapter end. Other times it's like, man, you're in this chapter for a while. So it's not the best parallel on like where you're at in the game necessarily. But we'll get some more stuff done. I guess it was in my notes, so I'll delete off my notes and then remember to bring it up. People are saying apparently D&D movie is good.
Yeah, no.
Question mark?
Yeah.
Kind of a surprise. But yeah, it seems like Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast, and whoever their partners were in the studio system did their work and made a movie that didn't lean too hard on anything and is fun. That's neat. Yeah, I'll catch it sometime.
Someday.
Oh shit, that reminds me. I have that tweet bookmark, but I haven't had the hour and 40 minutes to sit down and watch the entirety of Puss in Boots on Twitter. Let me double check that tweet's still up.
Is my guy taking
I
that?
don't see. Yeah, I don't see it in my bookmarks, but I need to make sure I was in the correct Twitter. Yep, no, things like it's gone. Damn. Curse you, Elon, doing something fast for once. So the only other thing I have a note about, well, I permanently have 14 and Jensic guys stuck to my notes doc for what's up, because we can talk about those whenever.
Yeah.
Because we're involving them at a regular pace, and obviously we already talked about some 14 stuff. So if we have any tabletop stuff to discuss, we could get into that as well. But the only other thing I have a note about is Stellaris.
Oh,
because we have been stellaраting. We hope to stellarate some more this weekend sometime, maybe.
Yeah. Probably gonna play Stellaris tomorrow. Dallas says that he is busy tomorrow, will not be able to make games. So
yeah,
our evening is
we'll
now
see
free.
If we can get some Stellaris in.
Yeah.
Because we had a little bit of the last couple of games, a little bit of a rough run. A couple of cycles ago, a couple of game days ago, that one got to a decent start, but ended up kind of rough as just
I hit the wrong button, son of a bitch.
An imperialist hegemon empire just decided to push my shit in.
Then buy fucking Stellaris Axe and stop being a bitch about it.
I mean, you know, worst comes to worst, you can always try and refund if you're not into it or whatever. Marth did a lot of work to find out that he just can't get the launcher to flow correctly with modded Stellaris.
I was like, you say you get stressed out by those kind of games, Axe, but from my experiences, you get stressed out with every single game you play with us.
Sometimes, Axe, you get a little stressed out not even playing the game with. But, so 2 sessions ago, it went for a while, but it kind of ended in like a defuncting. I got creamed. I feel like every time we do this, we learn a lesson about, you know, picking better origins and shit. If we stress you out so much, why are you trying to be in the thing?
Yeah.
And then the most recent game session this Thursday, you had a lot of problems. You got boxed in and beat up in one game, and we had to restart.
Yeah.
Though if you didn't have to do that, Paul, maybe Loth would have, because I did note that he switched up his thing because he originally built himself with no FTL capability because he thought it would be funny, and then it turned out to be a lot of work.
Yeah, Loft the guy, Loft that guy. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna completely fuck my overselves for the lulz. Oh no, I have fucked myself over.
But that game is going a little better. You are still boxed in the bottom corner of the galaxy. But at least you were touching another player's empire, mine, and we could actually, like, commence the federating and, you know, buddy up. And we'll probably have to punch out some of these guys who are on your borders because some of them are pretty expensive.
Yeah.
One of them, I don't remember which one, but one of them, I think it's the something purifiers or whatever, has like wrapped all the way around, so they're like touching like the northeastern corner of one of my borders. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
They're going a little crazy. Also, Axe, if you just want to play multiplayer with us, you don't need any of the DLC. Whoever's hosting, just shares their DLC. So
yeah,
if it's
you don't, you can just buy the base game and try it out and see what you want out of it.
Yeah.
Because when you're playing with multiplayer hosting, and Aaron I think has everything.
Me and Aaron have everything.
Yeah, you both have everything.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I think Aaron's been hosting lately, but he does have everything. You have everything. The game will let you know what things are tied to what DLC packs and recommend packs to you, so you can kind of curate what content you're interested in. Also, Stellaris DLC, not they're always their latest stuff, but Stellaris DLC should go on sale pretty regularly. You shouldn't have to fight too much with the mods. There's it has a built-in launcher, which if it works, and admittedly, it doesn't work for some people. It didn't work for Marth's machine, but I think you have a more up-to-date computer, so hopefully it works out okay. But you should just be able to like pull up the mod list and get started. We may have to relink it if you can find it in the goop. What is the Galaxy Edition actually?
I don't know. Like I said, I like people have been kind of have bought me like packs and DLCs and stuff, so I've just been buying them piecemeal as they come.
So let's see. You've got the base game, Stellaris, and then the Galaxy Edition. Oh, that's like, I mean, special. Yeah, it's just full of extra shit. Oh, there's a wallpaper, there's the soundtrack, there's an extra avatar, there's an exclusive alien race, there's an art book, there's a novel. That's just all the normal, like, bonus edition shit. You should be fine with just Stellaris. The Galaxy Edition comes with extra Chacham keys. Is it on sale right now? Am I reading this correctly? No, full price. But yes, if you can find our mod pack and just install it in the launcher, the only thing is one of them hasn't updated, so gotta move it. But it seems pretty straightforward. And obviously, I've mentioned this before in about other discussions. Well, I do believe that technically you can do all of the 4Xs in Stellaris. Let me actually double check what we say by 4X. Let's see. Explore, expand, exploit, exterminate. Yes, you can do all of those things in Stellaris. It doesn't always play like other, like it definitely doesn't play like Civ. And I mean, if you do purchase it, you have, you know, at least a whole ass day to boot it up yourself and like look at it. Stellaris is definitely one of those games where you can absolutely end up, you know, fucked right out the gate by shit that's beyond your control.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can also tailor a lot of stuff in Stellaris if you're playing on your own, and if you're playing with friends, obviously you have friends to bitch about stuff with, but it's not that hard to just, you know, loop it back and go next.
No, usually I feel like as long as something weird doesn't happen in like the first few years of the game, you can like usually start working around things, as long as you don't like necessarily skimp on any of your things. Like make sure you have like a military, you start setting up your military, make sure you have your you know, a couple science ships and a couple constructors just ready to get out there. You push. No, the problem I think I had specifically is it's not. Well, I should say, Mega, did you have anything else you were gonna bring up while you were speaking?
Oh no. I was gonna eventually mention, but I think it's the point you're about to bring up as well.
Yeah, no.
The weirdness we've noticed with Stellaris lately.
The weirdness with Stellaris is when you're setting up your maps, you have these options to put in how many AI empires start in the game. I'm gonna tell you right now, they usually want you to stick in a fuck ton.
Yeah, if you're in solo play, they usually want there to be a lot of them.
Yeah.
I do not listen.
I do not either.
And I assume it's because Stellaris is probably easily abused. It's a Paradox game. It's been out around a long time. I assume that the game is like easily abusable to like longtime players. But generally, I feel like the way that they try to project weighting their stats is they're trying to make you lose.
Yeah.
Not like in a mean-spirited way, but the default levels are geared so that you will not be able to just cruise control to the end game of your game, you know, without having to do something with somebody.
Well, it's not just that. It's like they also have like the mid-game crisis and the end-game crisis.
Yeah, there are crisis factors, obviously, and depending on what empires you got, you can get in there. But I think it's meant to like. I with crisis in mind, I feel like the number of AI empires and how many different kinds of AI empires you can run into is mostly geared towards the default to be like, you cannot be perfectly prepared for a mid-game or end-game crisis because you will run into something else in the game that will have challenged you already. So, you know, you're going to have to, you know, think big, be prepared, and sometimes there's a lot of shenanigans you can do. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff you can do to fuck yourself over. Let he who has not accidentally opened the wrong L gate or wormhole cast the first stone. But it's one of those games where, like, there's about a bajillion different things that can happen, some of which have strong effects in your gameplay, some of which have very minimal effects in your gameplay. You know, like, okay, it's really cool. You discovered that there are, you know, edible floating algae in this gas giant. This gas giant now produces either a little bit of extra research or a little bit of extra food. Yay.
I mean, I think it's cool. I honestly don't read them that much. I usually, what are my options? Go. I have like 6.
Yeah, I look at the 2 options and I'm like, what does this do? What does that do? Like, they're neat. And when you're playing solo, obviously you have more time to like pause the game, read, and go on.
Mm-hmm.
When we're even at normal speed, when we're playing with like 5 people, it's like, okay, what's that? What's that anomaly? What's that anomaly? What's that anomaly?
Research. Click. Go. Okay.
And I've, you know, you talk about making sure to set up with your open policies. I haven't actually pulled the trigger on it yet, but I have strongly debated switching off my away team's policy. Because that actually makes your survey speed slower. It makes it much more likely you will find anomaly, and you gain a lot more experience that way for your scientists. But it makes your survey slower, and you find more anomalies. If you just do, like, 1 away team, I mean, you don't have to worry about that because that doesn't pause the game. You can read as much as you want. The question is whether or not you'll have time to read with so many pop-ups. Admittedly, usually if somebody's, like, absolutely swamped, you know, you can pause the game. Like, Lucky's called for pauses. I've called for a pause in, like, a crisis. I know Aaron and Loth have paused a couple times because they're just like, hold on, I got a lot of stuff on my screen.
Yeah, no,
you know,
like,
we can take
you're,
breaks and
like,
stuff.
trust me, you're not going to want to read it all. You're not. Because when the game's going and you'll hear serve it, like, you know, citizens will be serving, pirates will be attacking, you'll be needing to coordinate your coordinate ships to get your expansion, you have to check, make sure you're upgrading your star bases, one of your colonies will have a fucking, you know, a colony will need to have more districts built. You won't have time to read. You literally will not have time to read.
Yeah, and like I said, for the most part, you don't really need to read. It's just that, you know, the anomaly alert comes up, you click research, unless you, like, really need that science ship to be doing something else. It's very rare. And there are times when it's stressful, and I don't know. Like I said,
I don't think
you
it's
might find
necessarily
it
stressful. Like, I'm, like, honestly, it gets me to the Zen mood where I'm just all, like, click, clack, click, clack, 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 click, clack, 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 click. Like, when I get stressed out is it's never when I'm dealing with my own shit. It's always when I'm dealing with someone else's shit, like in other empires. Yeah. Like in my current game right now, I'm in an interesting situation. There's like 8 major powers in the system, and I'm like one of them, and all the rest of them are usually subservient to some other power. But I'm number 1 in the galaxy, and the number 2 and number 3 are on either side of me, and they have a defensive pact. They're not allied with each other, but if I attack one of them, the other one will get in it. So I'm having a fucking standoff where both of them are pointing their guns at me, and I'm pointing my guns at them, but I have bigger guns. So we're just all like, you can't see it, but you can't see it, but Lucky did fucking his arms fucking akimbo, just looking back and forth.
Yeah, Mexican standoff, but it's not 3-way.
No. And there's been like multiple times where they've been preparing to war, and then I just immediately arm up, and they're like, never mind. And so like this,
you conduct an arms buildup, and your intelligence networks is like, they're conducting an arms buildup, and you're like, okay.
Yep. Yeah, no, I have fucking espionage systems in both of them. I'm constantly doing smear campaigns, getting them to discredit, because if I can get them to break that defensive pack, I can take one of them out and then submit myself as the ruler of the fucking galaxy.
Yeah, but like usually it flows pretty well,
no,
and
yeah,
like
it's good.
It can be stressful early when you don't know what you're doing, but like I said, I usually don't feel frustrated. It's more just like, you know, just like, oh, great, it's one of these systems, you know, like, oh, I've accidentally opened a trapped asteroid full of mining drones.
Actually, God, I want to show you guys. You guys mind if I switch to Stellaris? I'm not really doing anything in 14 right now.
Go for it. I was going to ask what we're doing after.
I don't know why. We're still streaming. Does not. Hello? Hello? Stellaris? Would you like to be captured, please? Is that
Are you
one?
in borderless windowed? Well, yeah, lucky you switched us back to the graphics so that you can probably not have data problems.
I know I have streamed Stellaris before.
Yes, I believe you had. Well, it's okay. Poor? Weird. Did you, because I didn't really get to see it, did you fully close down 14?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I see the black screen on here. I've switched our stream data to say that the game is Stellaris.
Let's
Talk to you later, love.
Let's try. No. Is it because it's loading?
Maybe.
I will say, Stellaris takes a fucked long amount of time to load in, though.
Takes a lot of juice, yeah.
A lot of juice.
All right, while it's loading up, I will pause the audio and be right back.
I'll be right back as well. I'll be right back, guys.
Take 5, everybody.
Okay. The what? Yeah. Oh, that works? Oh, neat. Good to know.
Something? Let me put my headphones back on.
Hey, conveniences.
All right, chat, I'm seeing screens.
Okay. Oh, again, I'm just straight into my game.
Yeah, let's resume.
All right,
All right,
cool.
right back.
All right.
Let's see,
So,
YouTube is still saying poor, but we're actually getting visuals, so.
yeah, no, it's saying. Well, maybe with my huge map. I feel like you need it. The less stars there are, the more likely you are going to run into somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I think I just.
No, he already closed 14.
I think I just have a.
I think it's just in general some extra juice. Lucky did say it was hailing earlier where he was, so.
Yeah, unfortunately, it might just be this. But I think people see it on the big ring. Like, so I run a big ring, and this is the order of Tiamat over here. Our color is purple. We are. Wait, nope, that's the wrong thing. Hang on. Species. God, I fucking hate this. There's one thing I hate, it's just people fucking move in no matter what, and I have to deal with all of them. It's like we're a piece of, we kind of fish people. It's sick. Oh, stream's fucking up again. I'll give it some time.
Yeah, it's had some buffer back and forth. You have absolutely streamed it before, though. It may have been several Jones.
Stop buffering.
Whoa.
Well,
Sorry, on my end, I had some problems there. Audacity was like lagging out for a sec.
the internet's just breaking today.
Weird. Oh, well, that may mean we have to pack it in. We'll see if it evens out in a little bit. Let me stop Audacity for a second since something really crazy is happening.
Yeah, it gives like a few. It's given a few, and then it just drops again.
Yeah, I don't know. You're paused even right now on the last frame we got anyway.
Let me check my task bars. Let me see if there's anything working in the background I don't know of. Where's my task manager? Well, Stellaris is using a fuck ton amount of my memory, but I was expecting that.
Yeah, it do be happening. All right, I refreshed audio. No audio was dropped. Audacity is no longer laggy. Access it's stabilized, so you're seeing stuff.
Well, I'm seeing green now.
If you can hear us, occasionally refresh your stream. I'll refresh the hub because it's telling me yellow. Yeah, still says stream health bad on my view.
Let's see.
No, it doesn't look like it's buffering at least.
Let me refresh our hub.
So it's trying.
Let me shake my Galaxy back and forth a little bit here. Okay, the yellow went away.
Excellent. Hello, chat.
All right, I
Seems
think
like
okay.
it's
I think we have stabilized finally. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't got enough juice. I've had streams that we've had streams which for no reason are really slow and lagged out.
But so to show it off again here is the Order of Tiamat. This is my main hand, and these are the two I was talking about. We have the Orbis Customer Synergies, which is a peaceful trader system, and then we have the Samaria Hive over here, which is they're simulators, I think. I'm not sure. What were they again?
Ugh. Gotta watch out for that.
No, they're just a hive mind. Just a hive mind. They're not
Okay.
really. They're empaths, memorialists, and strength of legions.
There's a lot of potential species customization, chat.
Yeah. But as you can see here, I got a fair chunk of the galaxy here. I got like almost a full quarter of it just by myself, and I start my own federation, and I have several groups in it. Not these nerds because they're weird about shit, and I have these little protectors here because I fucking bum rush the galactic core, so I have fucking bypasses into people's backyards if I fucking wanted to. That's important.
Galactic core.
Yes. But as you can see, like, there are like several groups. Let me tell you something. I started with fucking like 3 other AIs. That's how I started this game. It was me and 3 others, and like there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wait, and a couple of Fallen Empires because I think they're getting. But so let me do that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me see if those are some of the ones. 10, 11, 12, 13.
In the core.
13, 14. There's 14 fucking empires now. I started with 3, and I'm just all like, This is the thing I don't understand. Why do they tell me, like, you start with so many empires when others are just gonna pop up anyway?
Yeah, and part of that is obviously because that's kind of the crux of the new First Contact DLC that just came out, is kind of rebalancing, pre-FTL civilization progression and stuff.
I wonder if they.
But it does in general seem like, at least if you play by like certain default frequencies, pre-FTL civilizations, there are a lot of them, and depending on like when you're at in the game, some of them seem to pop into new empires immediately, and some of them pop up later, and that can be very interesting because I don't think the game necessarily places pre-FTL empires at any particular spots or anything. The game will absolutely put you some early game blockers. Almost always ancient mining drones or Tiyanki space amoebas.
Yep.
You have multiple ways of dealing with these, but there's always a little bit of early game stressor. Sometimes pirates will spawn. You got to watch out for some of that stuff just to make sure that you're developing military technology and keeping on top of like occasionally producing new ships. You get a little bit of fleet to start with, so you're not going to get like absolutely schwackered immediately. But I feel like those like couple corvettes you start with almost never have enough firepower to deal with anything that spawns, right?
No, they do not.
They're just, again, a starter there to make sure that you and your home system probably can't get steamrolled immediately by something weird. But gives you a little bit of a starting ground to go with reinforcing yourself. But those guys are almost always like at some kind of choke point. But I feel like, the pre-FTL gets a little weird. That's the thing I think we're having in our multiplayer games. And obviously, as you said, you set the number of AI empires pretty low, but there are a lot of guys in there. I don't remember how I phrased it last night, but at one point I was popping up in the contact menu because we'd all like met each other, and I was meeting so many dudes, and I was like, "Oh my god, guys, look at the contact menu! Look how many guys there are! It's a lot." When you're keeping up on your defense platforms, you're doing a lot of stuff. There's a lot of Stellaris stuff. You're still paused, even. But this is a lot of what Stellaris is. You look at menus, you see you got some slots, you move some stuff.
Yep, I'm consolidating power in my federation, so I am the forever ruler, and I just joined the Galactic Unity, and I am slowly taking, and I get immediately put on the Galactic Council, so I'm just like, ha 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 ha. So
yeah, there's a lot of subsystems in Stellaris.
Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, here we go again. Orbis customer synergies are preparing to declare war on us. Our intel reports that they will declare war on us on, let's see here, 1/20/24/94. So I got a couple years.
Yep, so
oh, god damn it. I'm doing espionage on it. So I'm trying to weaken them by like stealing their relics and stuff. I wonder if they're gonna power by the Nelgate. I was able to, something I did that probably maybe unbalanced things a little bit, is I turned off the Grey Tempest effect for L-Gates, because I genuinely hate Grey Tempest. The L-Gates are is an event that happens. Basically, everyone has little, let me see if I can find one here. Here's one. No, that's a Shroud Tunnel. L-Gate. Well, it's called an L-Gate, and it's a wormhole to another sector. But the thing is, when you open up the L-Gate, one of the things that an event happens. And the most common one is called Grey Tempest, where fucking murder nanobots come after fucking through every L-Gate and just start murdering everyone. It's like it's a fucking crisis before a crisis. Because let me tell you, if you don't open up the L-Gate, an AI will. They fucking absolutely will. And I'm just always like,
yeah, because it's a whole thing that like you get access to more relics. They give you access to some really good stars and stuff. There's some very interesting tech there. But yeah, I'm literally looking at the table. So there's 35%. Great Tempest opens all L gates.
Yeah.
There's the Dishonor Consonants, 21%, opens all L gates. There's the Gray Silence. That does open all the L gates, 21%. And then Eldrakes opens 21%.
What percentage is Eldrakes?
Does that mean? That's also 21.4.
Oh, okay.
So there's 321s and then 135 that's Great Tempest.
Yeah. The one I got this time was Eldrakes, where you basically get Nanomachine Dragons. They're neutral, and they just...
An Eldrake travels to a random system and nests there.
Yeah. If you get a sign ship there, you can tame them, and you can hang them, and I got like 4 of them, and I put them all on the L-Gate system. So, I have literally turned this, the L-Gate, drop point into a fucking fortress. I have... like 3 mega structures in here. I built a fucking asteroid artillery here. Like I said, I have 3. These Eldrakes are considered Skull class enemies. They don't even have power. They're just Skull. And I got 4 of them here. So, yeah, if anyone declares war on me, I will just send these drakes through whatever L-Gate is closest to them. And that's my plan. Oh, there's an Eldrake there. Does no one have that one? That's the... What's my relationship with them, actually? Hostile. It's improving. I usually play a spiritualist pacifist. I've actually fucked up my ethics somehow, and I am actually authoritarian as well. Which is not completely against what I'm about, but still. So... I usually am all about trying to get... I'm usually not about, like, starting wars. I'm all about ending them by whatever means possible. So I usually can't just go roll up in other people's territory and take steps. So I've also taken a lot of steps to be very good at diplomacy. And I have, like, 16 fucking envoys all doing something. Oh, I don't have any fucking envoys in the fucking... Yes, I should change that. Let me assign an envoy to here. Let's see here. Who?
Your Federation's very leveled up.
Yep. I will take one out of my fucking... and put it in here. To help increase my diplomatic wake so I can have my fucking way. Like, see here. Yes, so I have, like, 4 of these dragons... my favorite origin is Here Be Dragons, which doesn't do anything super crazy. It just puts a fucking skull level beast in your home system that's neutral to you, and you know, as time goes on, you can learn to communicate it. I eventually get control of it and be able to make baby dragons. You can have up to 10 of them, and they stack with the lead with the elder dragon, and so you can just have this fuck off fucking fleet. I usually keep that at home for when shit gets real. Let's see.
Shit be do be real sometimes.
It do. Because like I said, I've already passed the mid-game crisis. It was actually kind of hilarious. A wormhole opened up here in the Sumerman Hive area, and dudes just started pouring out. And this guy was immediately like, I need help. I will open my borders to you, Order of Tiamat. And I was like, sick. I will send fucking ships through. And we kicked their ass in less than a year. They got like no traction. I got the fucking relic out of it, and it's pretty fucking sick. Let's see here. Let me check my ship designer here. I do believe I have... No, let me get rid of that one. I don't like using auto design. Auto design always get weird on me. Oh yeah, have I made an attack moon yet? I should make an attack moon. I should buy an attack moon.
Construction.
And yep, Orbis has declared me their rival again. So it is time to start fucking... Let's see, where is their L-Gate? I know they have one. I will say, I think of... Oh, here it is. It's here. Where's Maul? Oh, they got a fucking fleet there ready to try and start some shit. And they've gotten stations around it. Almost all around it. I'm gonna steal that fucking mining facility, though. Don't you worry. I I do have a lot of little complaints about this game though. Like, if you look over here on the right here, this bar, you just see how this fucking shit is just. I'm a person who likes organizing things. I do not like the fact that I have, my, actual travel fleets like are breaking up my immature specimens here, or that like this one here, or my fucking my space amoeba friend. She is very old. And that's like, I can't actually organize any of these things. Same with like, God, I gotta do a lot of scrolling sometimes. Same with like these, my, buildings. I can't adjust them so I can easily point out what I want.
Yeah, you can, like, collapse categories, but you can't really move shit around.
No, so it's like, it's sometimes hard for me to remember where and what I've built sometimes, and things will get lost. Let's see here. How's the Aggie world doing? Let's do some upgrades. Upgrades for everyone. I do not have enough for a new fleet, so I will not. Actually, can I sell on the galactic market? Oh, the market leader is currently the Orbis Customs Energy Services. Well,
makes sense. I would assume that they are some kind of corporatist.
Yeah, no, they're totally corporate. Whoops, I didn't mean to hit that button. Let's see here. Yeah, mega corporation. That's what they are. Their civics are brand loyalty, media conglomerate, and private prospectors. Unfortunately, their economy is superior to mine, but their fleet power is pathetic. They are really relying on the Cimmerian Heart over here, who actually is equivalent to me. So this guy is this guy's big brother, and this guy thinks he can start shit with me because he has his big brother's backing, and I'm gonna fucking kick both their shits in. Just you wait. I am usually very proactive about putting defenses on entry points. Like, I have some big beefy things here. I will say, it is a little interesting what First Contact did, because in First Contact they added stealth capabilities now. So if I want to max out my fucking detection and make sure they aren't sneaking anyone past me, I have to put in a bit of effort here on specifically getting up my detention space, which kind of pulls away from a little bit of the other things they can be doing, but it's fine. It's fine. It's just a new challenge. Let me check out my Federation. How's our Federation doing? The Federation, we're almost at level 5. I changed laws here. We have high level civilization. The succession type is strongest, whoever has the strongest fleet. And it only changes when someone else gets the strongest fleets. And because most of the people are in the Federation are people that used to be my vassals, they will not be able to expand any further than they already can, and do not have the resources to overtake me. So yes, I am a Federation president for life. It's great. I love ruling everybody. Am I going on a little bit of a power trip? Maybe. Apparently, I found out, I don't know exactly how to do it yet, but apparently if, like, whatever is going on here, I'm not entirely sure what this is, but apparently I can turn this into a super weapon. I'm all like, oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a few things like that out there.
Yeah, so right now I've been working a lot on making sure I keep my military strength up. Oh, actually, where is everybody? Yeah, no, I think, if we're going to go to war, I'll just leave my defenses to my fucking platforms here, and I will literally just fire. Actually, no, I know what I'm going to do. I'll send the Drakes through, but I will put my fucking... Let's see here. Yeah, I'll send this fleet to this location. And then... Wait. Was that both of them? I don't actually know. Oh, this one doesn't have a leader either. Gotta change that. You're traveling. Where? Who? See, this is what I mean. Like, I don't like how the things are sending in. I'm not entirely sure which one I grabbed and which one has things here. I used to try just to name them all different things, but that's a big pain in the fucking ass. All right, so that one goes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then these two will go there. Okay. Okay, now they're both on the way. I'll position them in a position so that I can do that. And then this one, I will stick here. And then I'll wait for them to decide to actually have some balls and try and attack me, as I make sure to keep sending pirates after them to fuck over their trade rents. Let me check my spy network. How's the relic thing going? I can't actually tell. Manage spy network. Oh, I can't spark him. That's right, because they're complex fist. You know what? Let's keep us doing a spear campaign. Whoa, what the fuck is that? Oh, a restrict distribution. Okay, cool.
Very bold when things go jump to what the fuck is that?
Well, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, even though, like, even I'm not particularly stressed about something, I'm constantly. Oh, I think
it's a real time game, so stuff flows no matter what's going on, right? Like, unless you pause the game, stuff keeps ticking. It's not usually like a pressing concern, but you know, stuff will keep happening.
Oh, these guys have no relic. These guys just suck. Actually, do I still have a fucking guy? These guys just want to kick my shit in. You know what? Do I have envoys with them? Do I have an envoy with them? No. Okay, I do. You know, I'm gonna move that one. I'm gonna put that one in the fucking. Cause I want them to start some shit. I am ready. I'm not actually ready, but I'm gonna fucking. Yes, all right. I will increase my diplomatic weight so I may have my way.
Gonna set some stuff up.
Spaceborne creature encountered.
We are at over 2 hours, by the way, and I don't have anything else in my notes, so.
I don't really necessarily have it either, but no, like, Stellaris is fun. It is a galaxy-wide conflict and with a lot of little systems and a lot of logistics, and Lucky does love logistics.
Oh, we should say this, like, you know, you had even talked about, like, what you're doing for, like, you know, societies and ascension perks and stuff. There's a lot of different ways to play, and I don't think that there's, like, you know, Axe talks about, you know, being stressed about stuff in 4X games and stuff. Again, I don't think this is a stress point. Like, you can play the game however you like, and if you just channel your regular progress into those things, all of those are viable. Like, you could go full diplomacy and just make friends with everybody, increase your diplomatic weight, offer them, you know, favors, intel, cash, whatever, when they need it, and just create a buddy-buddy federation where everybody, you know, is all on the same team, and you get unified as, you know, galactic president or whatever. You know, diplomatic victory. You can, you know, build up shit to have all the craziest, best weapons and just punch the shit out of every other empire. You know, there are technological paths. There are some weird paths like psionic and cybernetics and stuff if you want to do some, like, slant routes. But yeah, there's, like, all kinds of paths and options there, all of which are viable. So the main thing is not to, like, freak out about anything. It's just, you know, figure out what gameplay stuff you want to do. And Lucky obviously has his preferences. I have my own. I tend to go usually in these kinds of games a little more technological focused, like trying to be the cutting edge. It doesn't work sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta be like, more minerals, because we turn minerals into alloys and alloys into ships. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the time you need a big gun. Because people will try to fuck with you. But there's a lot of little things, and if somebody happens to be watching this and being like, man, this looks like a lot of stuff. Yeah, Lucky literally said earlier he is past the mid-game crisis. He is not in the mid-game anymore. You will not start at this level of map complexity and different greebles to touch. But we've mentioned before, I feel like every time we play Stellaris, or at least every couple of weeks of playing Stellaris, we either remember or discover a new like subsystem or thing.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be aware of all these buttons, but like it's one of those things that's like, oh yeah, that thing that can help, smooth that out. You think about like, oh, why am I, losing so much energy credits to upkeep? Well, it's probably because you didn't optimize your planets so that they're, specialized so you get more streamlined on the stuff you want from your planet. But also it could just be, random jumps or stuff. But yes.
I have stolen like 4 of these relics, by the way.
Nice. Neato.
Let's see.
Well, it's important because a lot of times people end up with relics you got because they're doing their own storyline. Slight yawn.
Whoa.
But
well, actually, we don't have to have a lot. Well, I don't know. Actually, Aaron, are you busy tonight?
is Aaron here?
Is Aaron here? Is Aaron even here? I don't think he is.
I don't know if he's in the stream. Is he online? He is online in green, so I don't know if he's around.
Well,
I don't think he's been talking in the stream, but we don't need Loth if we want to run something together.
Yeah.
We could start a new game about different stuff.
I think we just have to start naming which game has who in it. Ugh. But yeah, no, if we got nothing else, I think we can get on out of here.
All right, seems like a productive episode, other than the detective, as usual.
Yeah.
Give your activities out of the blip. So we can pack it up, pack it in, and talk about more stuff later. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. If you liked this video, give it a like. I see that there are quite a few of these, and a lot in there. X doing that thing he does where he's trying to provoke us into talking for 4 more hours, and I won't be party to it. I won't play this game. You guys don't control my time. Like the video. No longer asking. I still don't have the gun sound effect from last time. Anyway, like the video, consider leaving a comment. Join our Discord if you want to hang out and do stuff and things. Whether that's you want to get in on some Mega Man Battle Network stuff later this month, or you want to check out Final Fantasy XIV stuff. We got quite a few 14 players in the Discord. Check it out. Sub to our channel if you haven't already to get more of this stuff. Ring the bell for notifications. Make sure to check out our Monday stream. That'll be Resident Evil 4 Remake. We're coming back. Lucky's in the driver's seat.
Woo.
And if you didn't watch that first episode, you can go back and catch it on the channel right now. So keep your eye out for other stuff. Check out Let's Like FGO, this week's episode, if you haven't seen it already today. Released earlier today. And don't forget to consider your channel memberships. Get access to membership badges and emotes, as you can see displayed on the side there. And, as I said earlier, consider supporting us on Patreon. Get access to the audio version for as little as $1 a month. Approximately $10 a year. And other goodies. And that's all the outro stuff I got.
All right, then. Well, we're going to end it there. Everyone, thank you for showing up. We will see you next time. Have a good evening, everyone.